guess that means you boys can read. So I guess that means that you saw the signs outside of town there saying surrender your firearms. But like you told young Andy here, you're not armed, are you, Bob? Well, not really.
What the hell happened to them? Jack attacks the cast. That's right. We've taken a little Nicholson vacation, but we can't stay away. We are back with Jack Nicholson, and of course, we're back with my co-host, Joe Vadis.
Aha! There I am.
Yes, that's a deep reference for you Bible people out there, or fans of old movies. And, of course, on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And, Joe, speaking of, we have another email.
Oh.
We have a follow-up to our Lightyear email.
Oh, good.
You ready for this one?
Give it to me.
Apparently, the movie Lightyear had no toys made based on it in the Toy Story universe, because the fictional production company that produced and released Lightyear in 1986 was never able to secure a license to produce Lightyear toys.
Wow.
Only the animated series Buzz Lightyear of Star Command had toys, which is where Andy's Buzz comes from. All of this is to explain why there are no toys of Socks the Cat and other supporting characters from Lightyear in the Toy Story films. This information comes from director of Lightyear, Angus MacLane himself. Hope that clears things up.
Do you know what I have to say to that?
What?
A big fat fuck you. You shouldn't have to be explaining your movie after it's come out.
Do you think he, sat there and was like, I'm getting asked this question a lot. Let me think of this complicated backstory, shall we?
Let me ask you, are you getting Aronofsky mother vibes from this? Not like how the movie was played out,
Yeah.
but how everyone was questioning, what's this movie about? And every time he would give you a different answer or an extra answer that you're like, why am I having to get all these answers and then they're different answers? It's just so frustrating.
That's a movie, he should be taking a play out of David Lynch's book and just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Aronofsky. You know why that movie kind of worked? Because it could be pretty much any of those weird theories.
Yeah.
All of them worked fine.
Your audience think.
Yeah, it's fine. Just shut the fuck up. I like David Lynch where somebody's like, hey, is the end of Blue Velvet be this? David Lynch goes, that's not a bad idea. And then, he walks away.
He's like, what's the rain like today?
Yeah. Let me give you today's weather. Or sometimes he does this thing where he's like, look, I'm pulling a ping pong ball out of a bucket. Today's number is 10. 10 is the number today. That's it. The end.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Today's weather is sunny with blue clouds all ahead. Last night I had a dream. I was a soldier in World War II. I think I was on the Italian side, and I just remember being shot and feeling so cold and wondering how sad my mother would be. All right, thank you all for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.
He just gives you the devastating piece of news.
That's a David Lynch weather update for you. So addicting.
Oh, I love it.
All right, but what movie are we doing this week that's not directed by David Lynch, sadly?
We are... Oh, God. Can you imagine if Nicholson did a Lynch?
Oh, we would be loving that.
Yes. We are stranded in the Broken Land. 1962's The Broken Land.
Yes, so this movie we had a hard time finding.
Very hard.
Everywhere online it says it's 70 minutes. We only found one that was an hour, but it very clearly began and ended when it should.
And it all made sense.
We don't know why it only said... We had trouble finding this one. I had to have frequent guest of the cast, Mr. Paul Giramini.
Hell yeah.
Hunted down for us. And he was sort of confused too. Did it only look like 60 minutes? We went back and looked to see if there was a different version. There was not. So this is what you get. It felt like it was all there, so...
Yeah, there could have been some really messed up shit in there that they just were like, just scrape this off. There you go.
Yeah, the movie opens, well, I'll get into that later. Joe, tell us what everything is that we're talking about in this movie.
The film is about a cowboy who rides into a small town that is ruled with an iron fist by a corrupt sheriff. He becomes involved with a pretty young town girl and some residents who are trying to oust the sheriff, resulting in a robbery, a murder, and his being pursued by a vengeful posse.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically Diet Unforgiven.
Wow, that's better summary.
Yeah.
Diet Unforgiven.
Yeah, here's who this movie stars. Hannibal, Face, Alan Mad Murdoch, and B.A. Baracus. That's right, we got Cowboy A-Team this week. No.
Are those guys?
Those are all the guys in the A-Team. Those are the characters.
Yeah, they're not in this movie, though, right?
They're in this movie. Like, Cowboy Guy is B.A. Baracus. Jack Nicholson is Hannibal. The lady is Face. And then Billy, random guy that's worthless in this film, is Alan Mad Murdoch.
Which one is Liam Neeson?
That's Hannibal.
That's the main guy?
Main guy.
The marshal?
Well, the team leader. Not the marshal. No, the marshal's the bad guy in this movie.
So he's the deputy, Ed Flynn.
Deputy's also bad in this movie.
Dave Dunson.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, these characters really mushed together, except for Nicholson. They all have the same face.
Yeah, that was tricky, but at least...
You have face blindness, and I give you a break on some of this.
At least there was a woman, right, that kind of broke things up. Yeah, listen, Joe.
She's the pretty young town girl.
I write in big letters at the top of my notebook, Bechtel, at the beginning of each episode, and put an equal sign. This one, before it even began, I just wrote no.
Yeah, you don't have to
Jack Nicholson's in a Western in 1962? No way. No way at all. And sure enough, you get a movie about, like, where we're on the side of this cowboy that just kind of, like, starts beating up the sheriff in the middle of the street. All right, yep, we're very machismo 60s film. So there's, this cowboy guy comes in out of nowhere. Jack Nicholson is, like, the son of, like, a really bad bandit who's famously bad, but he himself, Jack Nicholson, is not bad, but he's just assumed to be a bad guy because he's the son. So he's getting thrown in jail just because... And then there's like some little 18-year-old shopkeep employee, Billy, who legitimately is just the most worthless member of their posse.
Yeah.
He rides a horse for half a second, gets shot, and then gets stabbed, and then is dead. Spoilers. You have this woman also, I guess, now, because she has the big speech at the end that turns the town against the sheriff.
Yep.
You got like reverse high noon here.
The one lone trivia fact I have for you on this movie that no one knows exists.
No one remembers? Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was originally cast to play the role that Jack Nicholson eventually took.
I think you put Burt Reynolds in the cowboy role.
How old would he have been? 1962? We've been pretty young.
Yeah, so you wanted like an old grizzled cowboy guy? That was the goal?
Yeah, a little bit, right? He's like a regular guy.
I don't know. If he's just young cowboy guy, I don't think it's that weird. I know Jack Nicholson's technically young too, but doesn't feel... You got this Billy guy making everybody feel old, so that's fine.
Yeah. I just want to see how old Burt Reynolds is. He was born a year earlier than Jack Nicholson, so they're about the same age.
I think that would have been fine.
That makes sense.
I don't think he's great for the Jack Nicholson role. But Jack Nicholson... Yeah, the movie starts and Jack Nicholson's in jail, and I go, of course. Of course that's the character Jack Nicholson would get. He's in this movie that we've seen a little bit already in this season so far, and we're going to see a lot more in the 60s, is like this very anti-authoritarian type movie. Like Jack Nicholson just gets in all the time.
Absolutely. Right. Culminating in Easy Rider.
Which is his breakout role. You have this just sheriff who's just like, the laws are important and you got to follow them all to the letter. There's no room for compassion or understanding or anything. You just do the law the way they are. And then, of course, that screws everybody over for no reason, and they get mad about it. We're on the side of them who are like, yeah, dumb rules are dumb. Which I do agree with, but very in your face here.
Yeah, I agree too. Dumb rules are dumb.
That's a hot take here.
Have you heard of this director? His name's John A. Bushelman.
Nope.
Nope.
I haven't heard of anybody in this film that was not
besides
Jack Nicholson.
Listen to this guy's other movies, though, because this sounds fun. In 1976, he directed a movie called Cat Merkel and the Silks, but on the poster it just says Cruisin' High, and it's a punk, and you only see his fist, and it's got a leather band around it with spikes, and he's carrying a chain.
Male Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, I don't see anybody I know in that one. He did this movie called Day of the Nightmare. This must have been his next feature after the Broken Land. Let me show you the poster for this, and I maybe you can describe it. That's the poster.
Well, Bush, what's his name? Yep. Bushnell?
John A. Bushelman.
So the poster looks like Bushelman's son was bored at a restaurant.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Doodled on a napkin a skull and some people afraid of the skull. And the skull is so cool. It has hair and sunglasses.
And like kind of like a zipper mouth.
Zipper mouth and picture of that guy who's like throwing flowers that look like a Molotov cocktail. You know that famous poster? That's what there's a guy on there who looks like that.
And there's a policeman shooting that guy. Of course.
I think he's just like shooting up, presumably at a nightmare during that day.
And that is a half hour longer than this movie.
Yeah, so the movie is supposed to be 70 minutes. We could only find versions that were 60 minutes. We had theorized that perhaps there were 10 minutes taken out that weren't appropriate for TV anymore. I got worried when the opening prologue reading comes up. And it's like, these 4 people band together. They are the insurgents. And I go, oh no. Because at the beginning it talked about it was like very shortly after the Civil War. And I go, are we going to be one of these movies? And I wonder if there was some like, man, wasn't it great in the Confederacy, blah, blah, blah kind of moment? Maybe they took that out.
There's just a 10-minute sequence where they're just like, oh, what it could have been.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Well, it was telling at the end when they were like, the marshal used to be a Union soldier and he did whatever he wanted after the war. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, movie, let's calm down here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I know you're 2 years away from Brown v. Board of Education, but it's going to be relevant soon.
Not that long ago, huh?
Not that long ago.
Truly troubling.
Yeah.
I thought the movie looked pretty nice for the most part.
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody took the time to restore it, considering that nobody remembers the movie exists.
Well, even if they did, though, there's no way to watch it. We scrambled to find a copy of it.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody put the time in to restore it, and then you didn't ever release it, ever? What?
It is going to be held up forever now at Disney because this is a 20th Century Studios movie.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So
that they don't even know is in the library?
Yeah.
We just got to let them know Jack Nicholson in this movie. That should be a good selling point.
Yeah, just throw it in one of those, like, hey, pick 'em, 5 pick'ems from Jack Nicholson.
There you go. We got Broken Land.
Put on the Crybaby
Killer.
What's the other one we did? The Studs Lonigan.
Studs Lonigan. You want to see 5 seconds of Jack Nicholson? Here's Studs Lonigan.
And then for shits and giggles, you throw on the Corman version of Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah.
Probably the best one we've watched so far. The best role he's had so far. The one I've enjoyed the most, at least.
I don't know.
You don't
think
so?
I'd have to think about it. There's no like easy winners here. Too Young to Love.
Too Young to Love.
It's the best directing we've seen so far. Crazy enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought this one looked nice, though, right?
It does look nice. It's it's well.
Is it just the restoration?
Shot it on, like,
is that
real
probably
film? It just didn't matter. It's just like, let's put our camera here, and then we put it here, and now we have our scene covered. The end.
Yeah, there's not much direction. It just looks pretty.
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, for what it is, it's not a terrible script. I like this idea of like we 4 people we're gonna band together. Like I like the A-Team, but then like they don't even do anything. They'd like run away a little bit, and then one of them gets killed, and then they get captured, and then the end.
It's also that there's nothing to these characters.
Yeah, like that's where losing a half hour kind of hurts you, because you do set up a little bit when they're in the jail cell, and they all have different thoughts about escaping and whether they should or not. And Jack Nicholson seeding this idea that the other guy's like a reluctant hero. All great. And then you just say, let's just rush through plot now. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
On one hand, I'm just like, oh, thank God this movie was only an hour. We're in it. We're done. But the other hand, I go, if you had a half hour, you might have been able to do more interesting things with your movie.
Yeah, there'd be more to talk about.
Yeah. My fear, though, is they just make it worse by making it long. You could make it better by making it longer, but they would just make it worse.
So my thinking is that this was probably one of those like double features. They throw one of these movies and one of those movies, put a cartoon in the middle. There you go. Give me 15 cents.
Yeah, not a bad guess.
I mean, that's what my grandma said. She said she saw 2 movies. And this whole time we're watching these movies, it really makes sense that these are like, oh, you get an hour? There you go. That's one feature. Second feature, another hour.
There you go. Done.
Yeah.
We got to see an actual guy actually riding shotgun. He was literally riding shotgun, Joe.
He was?
Yeah. There's a guy driving the carriage, and the guy sitting next to him has a shotgun. He's riding shotgun.
You know, that is a good point.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's probably how I got it, right? That name?
Yeah, I actually think that is the origin, if I remember my 4th grade class well enough.
Wow, you learned that in 4th grade?
Yeah, teacher had like a big book of idioms, and so every now and then she would like read us a fun little idiom origin.
Oh, I thought your teacher was just like a gun nut or something.
No. Miss Williams? No. Famously in my school, the hardest teacher worked us harder than all the other 4th grade classes, but I think...
4th grade? You're getting worked hard?
I think we built character from it.
Not enough Oregon Trail, right?
That was in...
That was like...
Second grade? No, 5th grade was when we had computers.
You know what? You are bringing things to my forefront much more clearly. I realized you're right. We used to do stock market trading and Oregon Trail.
We didn't do stock market trading until 6th grade, but we did do Oregon Trail and Sim City.
Yeah, well, I never got to play Sim City. I got to do the roller coaster one, but I was always jealous.
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about a great game my friend had that we found at the grocery store for $1. It's called Dinosaur Park Tycoon, which is basically roller coaster park tycoon, but you make your own Jurassic Park. And like then some shit would happen where be like dinosaur wrestler came in and stole your raptor. Now you got to get a new raptor. And you're like, what the fuck? Who does that?
Huh. I like it. We're really off track.
We're only slightly off track. Conveniently, there were 4 horses when they escaped, enough for all of them. And no one complained about the stolen horses. They only complained about the stolen money that was accidentally stolen.
Yeah.
You have no idea what I'm talking about. You barely remember this movie.
It fluttered through my brain.
Yeah.
As soon as I finished watching it, I turned it off. It just like started dripping out of my brain. I watched this at like 4 o'clock yesterday.
Okay. Well, then real quick, it would have been nice to see the townsfolk revolt more. Like the woman at the end's like, yeah, see you guys willing to cower back to his dumb excuses. Let me tell you more shit. And then the cowboy guy beats him up, and the townspeople don't really do much. And then as the cowboy guy and his love interest are walking away, they're very sudden and out of nowhere love affair. Jack Nicholson also sneaks a hand on her back, too, where he's like, yeah, I'm getting in on this. Ooh, baby. Little preview of who Jack Nicholson would be as a person later on.
Ooh,
he's like, fit me in here, ladies. But Jack Nicholson had an article about Jack Nicholson came out this week from Far Out magazine in the UK, where he names his 3 favorite directors. And he's actually a big fan of Antonioni. Says a lot of nice things about him over the course of his life. But does not make the list here, sadly. The 3 people who make the list are John Ford, Orson Welles, Akira Kurosawa.
And this is Nicholson talking about
Nicholson's 3 favorite directors. Those 3.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Did he work with any of them?
He was in a movie with Orson Welles, but they were never in a scene together, I don't believe. They may never have met.
Huh. That's just like Gwyneth Paltrow and Tom Holland never met on the set of Spider-Man.
Okay. Right.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, she was like being questioned by Jon Favreau on this like reality show. He asked her a question about Spider-Man, and she's just like, "What? I wasn't in that movie." And apparently, so they like, I guess they shot her around everything, and it's just like she had no idea what movie she was shooting for.
Ah, the joys of Marvel cinema. So wonderful.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Actors don't even know what movies they're in. What a time to be alive. I also have our very first segment of Julia in general. In general. In general.
I love this.
So, this is from Best Life Online by Leah Beck. This is the article. And it's just like a little walk down memory lane. Did you know Julia and Steven Spielberg had a feud?
On Hook?
Yeah.
That's the only thing they did together. That makes
Yeah.
sense. The movie sucks. It's one of my least favorite Spielbergs.
So, I'll give you a little extra here. In 1991, Roberts was engaged to Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Flatliners.
Yes. Their breakup made public days before their June wedding was scheduled to take place, but they'd already broken up before this, and she ran off with his friend Jason Patrick to Ireland. That is not a part of the story I was aware of from our episode. With his friend. That's rough.
Wow. And then she leaves him for, like, Lyle Lovett, like,
Yeah,
a year later.
anyway, so she'd also had the flu and was hospitalized, and there were rumors that she was on drugs and lost her job on Hook. All this happened when the movie was released. When the movie was in production.
Wow.
And so Julia Roberts was all stressed out in her life. So rumors have it that the crew called her Tinker Hell because she was a nightmare to work with.
Well, it's the sudden shot up from stardom. She had Pretty Woman the year before, so it's like she's the new thing.
Yeah, listen, could I buy it? Yes. That same thing happened to the cast of Laverne and Shirley when that show went up to #1 in like 5 seconds. Everybody just got too big for their britches.
I mean, it happens. She was really young.
Yes, so
Like,
exactly,
really young.
especially like that. Same thing with Laverne and Shirley. So then she says, though, the thing actors hate to do, where they're sitting in their trailer for, she claims, 6 hours a day doing nothing, saying, "What the expletive is going on?" I don't think she said the word expletive.
I'd hope not.
I don't think that's an outrageous question. I don't think that's temperamental, so I don't know what to tell you.
No.
I'm not perfect. I just have frustrations like everybody else.
Yeah.
24-year-old was asked about a rumor that she had thrown shoes at someone had said. And then she responds, "A source says, if they don't have the balls enough to say who they are, I think they should shut the expletive up." She also didn't say
I
expletive
love
at that time.
this. This is great.
In the interview, Roberts was asked if she got along with Spielberg, to which she simply said, "Uh-huh." Meanwhile, Spielberg on 60 Minutes in 1992, responding to a similar question, said, "Well, it was an unfortunate time for us to work together. But I think Julia now is a really good actress."
Yeah. He's like, literally like, "I'm going to work on Schindler's List. My life will be hell."
Yeah. Listen, I don't know. Leave me alone. She was like on a set by herself. Like, what do I care? Asked if he would be hesitant to work with her again, Spielberg laughed and said, "Oh, this is the 60 Minutes question, isn't it?" Julia Roberts didn't like the dodging of the question. So she said, "He wasn't not nice. He was very coy. He took these hesitations as if he had to choose his words carefully when asked about me, and I watched it and thought, is this the same man I had a whipped cream fight with on set? Is this the same man who said he couldn't wait every day to get onto our stage because it was more fun than the big stage and more relaxed and easier? And even though it took 9 hours to set up a shot and I got it done so fast, I kept everything moving, was always good humored, and didn't complain?"
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
There are some slugs being lobbed at one another. This is intense.
I guess sometimes it's just too tempting to be in the majority. To have him even say that it was difficult for me to be going through a personal experience like that while making a movie, well, yeah, it is. But did I do it with as much ease as anyone could do it? Yeah. Do I ever feel like I inconvenienced him with my personal life in any way, shape, or form on set? No.
Oh, well, you definitely clearly did, so.
Added that Spielberg obviously sort of missed some aspect of me as a person. And then she was asked if she felt fooled by the director, and she said, "No, I don't really feel fooled. At this point, it doesn't really matter. You can only find disappointment in an expectant mind, and I don't really expect anything from Steven." There you go. Huh. That's why we haven't seen Julia in a Spielberg movie in a while.
Damn.
All right, so that's a little fun update there. Now we get to go to another new segment, Joe. Watergate Watch.
Watergate, Watergate, oh, Watergate.
Watch.
All right, Joe, I told you I was watching Secret Honor by Robert Altman this year. Did you get to watch Secret Honor?
Oh, no, I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch that, though. I was gonna wait till I finish the 70s and then jump into the 80s. The 90s I've just ran through.
Just in and out of, apparently, yeah. Secret Honor came out in 1984. It stars Philip Baker Hall, and that's it. That is the person that it stars. One-man show, clearly a Broadway show. And Philip Baker Hall plays Nixon, looking back on his life as he's trying to write a biography about him, an autobiography. I'm not sure what's quite going on. There are some. Listen. I don't know why Altman wanted to do this. There's so little camera directing going on. You obviously have to direct the hell out of this actor. And maybe he did the stage version of it. I don't know. Very visually interesting ending, though, which I imagine you couldn't do on stage. So I appreciated that. And, Philip Baker Hall is really giving you his A game. Like, he's good in it.
Yep.
I just saw him yesterday on an episode of Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Where he notably does not look like Nixon anymore. But he is playing a city councilman.
Oh.
Another politician, and Woody Harrelson. Frasier gets Woody Harrelson to run against him to prove a point.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss Philip Baker Hall. 90 years old. He just passed away.
He's only 90?
Only 90?
He already looks like he's 70.
Yeah, and Magnolia, he would have been 70.
Wow. He was everywhere in the 90s, playing pretty much the same character.
He was great, though. I loved it.
He was good at it. Giving Robin Williams a hard time for having fun.
Yep.
He's like, stop making people laugh, Robin. Robin's like, ooh, okay, well, we'll see. How do you like this talking skeleton?
What movie is that?
That's Patch Adams.
Oh, fuck, I've never seen that.
Surprisingly funny movie.
Okay.
Yeah. For a movie you don't remember exists. It's like Dr. Dead Poets Society. So, what do we learn about Watergate here we didn't already know? Not that much, because a lot of it, he's mad at Gerald Ford for giving him the pardon. He thinks the pardon presumed in everybody's mind in America that he had done something wrong, and he doesn't think he did. But other than that, a lot of it's about like his life after Watergate, and apparently, what's his name? The guy from The Simpsons. Henry Kissinger, like, kind of backstabbed him, and he didn't like Dwight D. Eisenhower, and John F. Kennedy did a bunch of shitty stuff, but everybody loves him, and he's kind of bitter about that.
Does the movie take place after he's resigned?
Yeah, the movie takes place, I think, in, like, 1984, and he's, like, looking back on his life after the fact.
Okay.
And he's saying, like, he had to do the dirty work of, like, these secret, shadowy people, and he didn't really have any power. He had to do whatever they said and all the things that people are mad at him about, like, he was forced to do. Oh. So, like, there's some interesting stuff being said, but it's a play. It's not really a movie. So I take away points for that. I don't know why Altman would want to even do this. He doesn't have a lot of creative freedom. You just kind of have to watch this actor act all over the place.
I was going to mention, you would... Anytime that Altman can look for a slam dunk in the 80s, that's what he would do. He didn't have many of them.
Okay.
That sounds like a slam dunk from him, where he's just like, I got one guy, he's great. This movie is going to be a critical hit, might not make any money. Money never seems to be an issue for him. His movies in the 80s, I have not touched them yet, but I've only heard bad things.
It's not terrible. Like, obviously, the script is good, and Philip Baker Hall's great. Well, Robert Altman's not getting in the way. But that was sort of how Altman's kind of directing style anyway best served a film like this, where he was just like, all right, actors, tell me what you want to do. And then he kind of worked around it. So if you really got to let Philip Baker Hall do whatever he needs to do with this one set that he's on, and he's just got to react to it, Altman's sort of one of the best who can handle that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Want to wrap this one up now, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last looks?
Last looks. What's your last looks, Joe?
Jack looks very handsome in this. This movie was very forgettable. Next week, I believe, is more interesting, and I'm excited for that one.
All right. Yeah, sadly, our why does Jack Nicholson do this movie train of thought, still pretty much the same. He needs work. Any work he can get.
You don't need to work.
He's an up-and-coming actor. He's like third, fourth build in this movie. And he actually is kind of a main character in this film. So, he's working his way up. He's doing his Western. We haven't really done a Western yet. Those are huge. It's a good way to give yourself a best chance to be seen. Everybody loved Westerns and then 60.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think he was coming back from some time served. Didn't he?
Did he have to go to Vietnam?
The army? Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was Vietnam.
1960?
Yeah. Was it? He wasn't in Nam, was he? I know he did something. We went over this like.
I think Vietnam's in 1960. I think Korea's done.
Yeah, military service. He
hasn't made a movie in 2 years, whether that was for military services or other reasons. He's got to get back on the horse, make sure his name's out there.
He did Air Force basic training.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the Korean War Military Service Selective Actor.
Like, he's not taking any role that he gets, you know? Like, this is a role that's really in his wheelhouse. Like, none of us are surprised, even though he doesn't technically have, like, a niche yet in acting. This one fits him like a glove, so I think he kind of earned this one and wanted this one, so I don't know if he's starved for roles yet, but he certainly would want to take as many roles as he could get. And this one's in his vein.
Only movie in 62, coming off his like 4 or 5 movie run in 1960.
Well, you know, Corman just churns him out, so there you go. All right. I'd like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer for minding those audio boards and keeping us sound so slippery smooth. I'd like to thank Joe Vekeman for stopping by again.
Hi, I'm back.
You never left us, Joe. Don't you worry.
I never left.
And I am your host, Patrick Scale. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media with presumably a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say good night.
Good night.
Was it like a big bushy beard or like a little scraggly beard?
No, it was bushy. I just shaved off like 2 pounds off my face.
Yeah, I won't lie, Joe. As a part of me, I think you're messing with me.
Okay, I got pictures.
Doctored photos, eh?
I mean, they'd be so noticeable if I magically put a beard on my face.
I don't remember that at all, Joe. I won't lie. I'm sorry.
It was. That's also like trimmed. That was May 13th. That's the last picture I have of myself on here. And I definitely trimmed that beard down, and I didn't feel like trimming it anymore, so I just shaved it off. It's also summer, and it's really hot here.
Well, I mean, hockey playoffs are over. No reason to have a beard anymore.
Yes, definitely.
You grow a beard for good luck, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I grew a beard out of laziness.
But then today you weren't lazy?
Well, I was going to trim it, like I said, and then I just decided to take it all off because I was like, well, you know, I've watched a good deal of movies. Let me tell you.
Yeah?
I had some stinkers.
Some stonkers?
Yeah, some real big stonkers.
Oh, no.
One I think that you liked in particular, which was sad that I didn't like it. I just could not get into it. It's called We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Oh, you know, I really did like it, but anyone who didn't like it, I get it.
I totally get it. So slow.
It's a very odd horror movie. Horror in quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Then I had a Shudder trial, so I was just fucking going to town on some Shudder movies that were impossible to stream anywhere else. I watched Phil Tippett's Mad God. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah. The stop motion thing took like a 1,000 years to make.
30.
Yeah. It might as well be 1,000.
He's been making it since the first Jurassic Park.
Wow. That has been 30 years. Holy shit.
Well, next year is 30 years. It's 29.
Oh, no.
I watched The Devil's Reign. Have you heard of that one?
No, I've not heard of that one.
That one's weird.
Can't describe it.
Describe it? Okay, I'll describe it for you. A Satanist cult leader is burnt alive by the local church. He vows to come back to hunt down and enslave every descendant of his congregation by the power of the Book of Blood contracts in which they sold their souls to the devil.
I feel like that one could be called Mad God.
Do you want to know who it stars? Ernest Borgnine, Eddie Albert, Ida Lupino, William Shatner, Tom Skerritt, and featuring John Travolta.
Yeah, I was not expecting real names on the list when he described that plot to me. This felt like classic cat people B-movie kind of fare.
Oh, it's a B movie, but it's crazy. It's crazy that it exists. Ken Russell, have you heard of Ken Russell?
Nope.
Oh.
This is a horror movie. It's called Ken Russell.
No, he's the director.
Okay.
We will be covering him eventually because he did a movie called Tommy that Nicholson stars in.
The Tommyknockers, adapted from a Stephen King novel.
No, this is from the same year as The Devil's Reign. It's called Tommy. It's a psychosomatically deaf, dumb, and blind boy becomes a master pinball player and the object of a religious cult.
Oh, Pinball Wizard.
Yes, we will be covering that movie eventually.
We'll be doing Pinball Wizard? Man, he sure plays a mean pinball.
Tommy. Starring Oliver Reed, Anne Margaret, Elton John, Eric Clapton, and Jack Nicholson.
I don't care about Tommy. Should I go see Mad God?
Yes. And tell me what you think of it. I didn't like it.
Why are you telling me to go see it?
Because I just couldn't get invested. I think it was just because I watched it on TV. It's hard to watch that movie on TV.
They have it playing at a movie theater on Friday.
It's 83 minutes. If you're at all interested, just go see it.
Okay, I don't sound like I'm interested. You didn't like it. Why didn't you like it? Because you were bored?
Well, I gave it 2.5.
Joe, the theater that's playing Mad God in July 1st, they have it playing. It's also David Lynch month.
Jealous! Very jealous!
So this weekend, I'm also going to get to see Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Ugh. I was lucky enough to go see that at a late night, like Friday Brattle screening on 35.
Hey,
and that was the first time I had seen anything Twin Peaks.
That's a place to start. I like the idea where you're like, this movie was pretty good. Let me check out this Twin Peaks series. And then the first couple episodes, you're like, why is everybody so confused about who murdered her? We know who murdered her.
No,
everybody.
I mean, I knew everything I saw the first, 3 episodes before I watched. But, I was, cramming it because I saw that movie in late May 2017. So that would have been right as The Return had started. And I was like, I got to catch up. And so I was cramming everything in. I'm like, ooh, a Twin Peaks movie showing. And then, the mystery was not really a mystery for me.
So thanks to David Lynch month at this theater, I'm going to pretty much be able to get to see every David Lynch film on the big screen. 2 notably missing.
Straight Story.
Good guess. Yep, that is one of them. What do you think the other one is?
Did you do a Fox movie?
A Fox movie? No.
Yeah, because 20th Century Fox is owned by Disney, so I was figuring that if he did Disney, that a Fox movie.
I think Straight Story's not here because it's not the David Lynch vibes the theater's probably trying to advertise.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't craving it, but I've heard it's really good. I still need to watch it.
Yeah. The other one, though, a very odd...
a weird omission?
Yeah.
Is it Blue Velvet?
It's not Blue Velvet. I already saw that one in theater, so I don't need to go back.
It's not Lost Highway, is it?
No, Lost Highway is actually getting a 4K restoration, so that's...
Yeah, I was going to say, that'd be the weird one to be missing then. Elephant Man?
No, Elephant Man's actually playing 4 days. All next week in the middle of the week.
It's not Eraserhead, is it then?
No, Eraserhead's the following day.
Okay.
We're just listing all the movies now. I'll just...
Yeah, well, I can go through his whole filmography.
I'll end your misery. It's Mulholland Drive.
Why would they skip that?
That I have no idea. My guess is maybe too expensive, or I don't know. I have no idea why that one couldn't make it in here and everything else can. They even have, at the very end, the short films of David Lynch. 6 of his short films. I've been
craving those. They're impossible. How do I find them?
Well, half of them are on the Eraserhead Blu-ray. The other half are on that other Blu-ray.
Elephant Man?
No. The Criterion has the Stuff of David Lynch Blu-ray.
Well, I have the Eraserhead one. So
Eraserhead's got 3 of them in the special features, and then there's one that's just random David Lynch stuff. There's a Blu-ray of just random David Lynch things.
I don't know why they would have left that off. I mean, it says Universal Pictures for the studio, so...
I would say outside of Eraserhead, probably his most famous film.
Yeah. That's definitely, no, absolutely, definitely, because he got nominated for Best Director, a lone Best Director nomination for that.
I mean, he got it too for Elephant Man, but I just think Mulholland Drive is on like every critic's list of like best film of that decade, best film of this millennium.
Yeah, but like, is it between Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive? Because that's 20 years.
No, I know there's that. I just think Elephant Man is still also kind of a regular movie. Mulholland Drive's just weird, right? It's probably his best put together film.
Yeah, the best dream state.
Yeah, like he's sort of really cracked into something there. I don't know. I think it's weird. I couldn't tell you why. They've got Inland Empire and Wild at Heart playing, and they just played those movies like 2 months ago, and they can't find room for...
Are you going to see them again?
Probably not.
Inland Empire is a big ask.
And it's not even that. It's just like there's so much around it. Like there is Mulholland Drive. Never mind. Mulholland Drive just not weirdly playing on like a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I don't know why you shove that in there.
Yeah, they're trying to get people to come in on a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to work on me. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, I'm basically going to see everything. I might even go back and see Dune, but I kind of don't want to.
Wow, I've never seen Dune.
Yeah.
That's a big omission for me.
It's just so weird in a bad way.
Is it worse or better than the new Dune?
I would say, like, structurally, it's worse. Because you're doing so much movie in 2 hours. Imagine...
It's only 2... The new one's 2.5.
Yeah. And that's just half the movie. And that's just half of Dune is 2.5 hours. That's the problem, right? The movie gets like an hour and 40 in, and all of a sudden it just like rushes through the second Dune movie that's about to come out. It's just like, shit, we're so long already. Let's have this all take place in 30 minutes, shall we? The beginning opens up and you got like a weird slug space guy, and he's like, spice! And you're like, what is happening? So like there's a lot of weird things happening that I'm kind of into.
30 minutes in the new one.
What?
Yeah. That's Stellan Skarsgård, right?
There's no slug guy, is there? There's no slug guy.
In the new one?
I was sad there wasn't a slug guy.
Are you kidding me?
I think I would remember a giant slug monster, Joe.
Do you not remember Stellan Skarsgård?
I guess not.
I'll show him to you. I mean, he's one of these things. What are these things fucking called? It's really small. Can you see it okay?
Oh, no, that's not a slug guy. That's that house that hates the main house. I'm talking, these are like spice merchants or I don't know. There's some political economic thing in the background. Yeah. And the slug monster's goes to the emperor and he's like, stop fucking up. I might even be remembering that wrong because it's so weird. I don't know. It
sounds strange.
David Lynch didn't get the final cut he wanted, so here we are. Part of my story is, my goal would be to see every David Lynch movie on film. This would get me pretty darn close if I went to all of them. So it's just going to be tough to find the time to go back and do the two I've already seen. But also, like with Antonioni, I want to see all of his films in theater. I've only gotten to see 2, because this week I got to go see Red Desert there, which is how I found out about David Lynch Month.
Oh, this sounds like a nice theater.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did I tell you I watched Paul Verhoeven's
Elf, the Christmas movie?
No,
No, you didn't tell me
ELLE.
You didn't tell me that.
Because you don't have your Stars subscription anymore, right?
No.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
This movie, though, Broken Land, sponsored by Stars this week.
I saw. That was weird. It was in beautiful 1080p, too. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Watch Elle. Just do yourself a favor. Watch Elle. Spend the $4. Watch Elle. Do you like Verhoeven?
I mean, I've seen probably, 2 things by him? 1 thing by him? What else has he done?
Well, I showed you RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, other ones he's done, Total Recall, Starship Troopers, Basic Instinct,
maybe I've seen more than I have thought. I've seen all those movies.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man? Oh, and I saw Hollow Man.
Yeah.
Did not like Hollow Man.
With Kevin, that was the one that kind of like killed his Hollywood run.
Yeah.
It made money, but not like crazy money. Anyways, this is like a real crazy return to form for him. This comes 16 years after Hollow Man, and it stars Isabelle Huppert, and she's incredible in it. It's his video game movie. Let me just sum that up for you. You should check it out. It's good. I liked it a lot.
I love it when really old directors make movies about video games.
Yes! Like the other one I have to check out, which is Existenz, that Cronenberg did.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I'll watch that one soon. The last one I want to mention was I went through some Altmans that I've been meaning to catch up on. So I'm almost done with the 90s and Altman. Altman 90s is fucking weird. Yeah. Especially when he adapts John Grisham. Oh. Starring Kenneth Branagh. So this is called The Gingerbread Man. It's based off John Grisham book. Yeah. Kenneth Branagh and Beth Davids, like, I guess coming off of Matilda playing Miss Honey.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Also starring Robert Downey Jr., Daryl Hannah, Robert Duvall.
Those are all bigger names than the first names.
Crazy cast. It's okay. I liked it. The other one I watched was Buffalo Bill and the Indians, or Sitting Bull's History Lesson.
Well, that's not a great title.
No, it's a terrible title, and I gave this movie more stars than the last movie, and I definitely like the last movie a little more in hindsight, but that movie didn't star Paul Newman, and let me tell you something. I'm hunting for Newman.
Yeah, you're Newman thirsty?
Yeah, for sure. It might just be that my kid watches those Cars movies, and once in a while he'll pop in because he played the old car in the first one.
Yeah, they got him out of bed for that.
2006, his last movie was Cars. Ugh, what a bummer. I don't know what's worse. Is it Gene Hackman going out on Mooseport, or is it Paul Newman going out on 2006 Pixar's Cars?
It's Orson Welles being like a robot-eating planet in Transformers.
Oh.
Easy. Slam dunk.
Slam dunk.
It's Patrick McGowan being in Treasure Planet for 5 seconds.
Oh, God, that movie was a drag.
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer. All right, let's break down the Broken Land. All right, and enough chit-chat. I also don't have much to say about this one. There's not really much to it.
An hour. Yeah.
It's listed as an hour and 10, and then I get it from you, and you're like, where's the 10 minutes? It keeps getting lopped off.
Yeah, I'll explain that to you when we get in there.
Oh, okay. All right.